Gregory Isaacs wasn't just a reggae singer. He was the cool ruler. His smooth, soulful voice made hearts melt, and his songs like Night Nurse turned him into a global icon. But behind that charm was a life full of battles, legal drama, addiction, and health crises. We're going to unpack what really went down, from his rise in Kingston's talent shows to his final days in London. Hang tight. You'll hear about his highs, his lows, and everything in between. Early life and musical beginnings. Gregory Isaacs was born in a rough corner of Kingston, Jamaica, in Fletcher's Land, on July 15, 1951. He grew up in Denham Town, where life was gritty and survival mattered. His dad left for the US when Gregory was little, so he and his younger brother Sylvester were raised by their mother. Even as a kid, Gregory was drawn to music. His mother sang while she ironed clothes, and Gregory soaked in the melody. On their rented radio, he listened to American R&B legends like Sam Cooke and Smokey Robinson. That sound deeply shaped his singing style later, soft, romantic, and rich with soul. As a teenager, Gregory jumped into local talent shows. These were everywhere in Kingston, and he performed with his brother Sylvester. Sometimes he showed early promise. His voice, his stage presence. It was clear he had something special. In 1968, while he was still very young, Gregory made his first record. He released a single called Another Heartache, but under a different name, Winston Sinclair. The song didn't blow up, but it marked his entrance into the music world. After that, he formed a vocal trio called the Concords, with two local singers, Penroe and Bramwell. The group recorded for producers like Rupie Edwards and Prince Buster, but they didn't stick together long. Eventually, Gregory decided to go solo. Gregory was also smart on the business side. In 1973, he and singer Errol Dunkley launched their own label and shop, African Museum. The move was strategic. If Gregory produced himself, he figured, he wouldn't have to wait on others or get exploited. Soon after, he dropped his first big hit, My Only Lover, which many credit as one of the first Lovers rock songs ever. But Gregory didn't just stick to Lovers rock. He recorded for several top Jamaican producers so he could finance his own label. His early hits had a range: ballads, roots reggae, and even socially conscious songs. Tracks like All I Have Is Love, Lonely Soldier, Black a Kill Black, and a cover of Dobby Dobson's Loving Pauper helped build his reputation. In 1974, he began working with producer Alvin G.G. Ranglin. That same year, he scored his first #1 single in Jamaica with Love Is Overdue. Over the next few years, Gregory built strong working relationships with major producers, including Winston Niney, Holness, Gussie Clarke, Glenn Brown, Harry Mudie, Roy Cousins, and even Lee Scratch Perry. By the late 1970s, Gregory Isaacs was no longer just a local singer. He was becoming a major force in reggae, touring internationally, recording albums, and gaining respect for his velvet voice and his emotional depth. His early life and beginnings set the tone for his career, a mix of vulnerability, ambition, and self-reliance. He built a foundation rooted in love songs, but he also wasn't afraid to speak about injustice or pain. That mix would define his music and make him unforgettable. Rise to fame. After grinding in Kingston's music scene, Gregory Isaacs' big break came as his sound matured into a smooth lovers rock vibe that felt like a slow, soul-soaked confession. He wasn't just another reggae singer. His voice had this vulnerability and swagger all at once, and people noticed. One of his early major wins was My Only Lover, released on his own African Museum label. That song is often cited as one of the first true lovers rock hits, and it set the tone for much of what would define Isaacs' career. Producers like Alvin G.G. Ranglin, Gussie Clarke, Winston Niney Holness, and even Lee Scratch Perry began working with him. Through these collaborations, he moved fluidly between romantic ballads and more socially conscious roots reggae tracks. In 1978, he signed with Virgin Records' Frontline label. That led to the album Cool Ruler, which didn't explode internationally yet, but it absolutely cemented his persona. People started calling him the Cool Ruler, and that nickname stuck. Even if the album wasn't a global smash, it showed he was serious. He had ambition and a style that was both intimate and regal. Alongside business moves, his live presence started getting attention. He appeared in the cult classic reggae film Rockers, alongside other big names. That wasn't just a cameo, it felt symbolic, like he was part of a larger reggae conversation, not just a radio star. Then came the real turning point. In 1982, Isaacs signed to Island Records' Mango imprint and dropped Night Nurse. The title track blew up in clubs, on the radio, and in people's hearts. That album reached the UK charts, something that many Jamaican artists at the time struggled to do. With Night Nurse, he basically became a global name, not just a Jamaican legend. But it wasn't just the music. His personality helped fuel his fame. He had this mystique, smooth, cool, but also a little dangerous. That combo made his music feel personal. At the same time, his career was complicated. Arrests, legal issues, and the shadow of addiction hovered in the background, even as his fame grew. Isaacs wasn't content to rest on one style. He kept working with top producers and evolving. In the mid-80s, he reunited with Gussie Clarke, and together they made Private Beach Party. Then, in 1988, they made Red Rose for Gregory, which includes Rumors, a track that showed he could adapt to the digital reggae and dancehall sound without losing what made him unique. By the time he hit his stride on the international scene, Gregory Isaacs had done the legwork. He built a foundation in Jamaica, created his own label, aligned with major producers, and released the kind of music that could travel. That rise wasn't overnight. It was steady, savvy, and deeply rooted in his talent and vision. He earned respect not just as a lover song crooner, but as an artist who could speak to longing, heartbreak, and the messiness of life. By the early 80s, the world was finally listening. Personal life and relationships. Gregory Isaacs was more than just a smooth reggae crooner. His personal life was tangled, messy, and deeply human. He was married at least once, but his relationships did not always stay simple. He was together with his longtime partner, June Isaacs, for many years, though some reports say they separated around 2003. They never officially divorced. June later became one of the keepers of his legacy. She helped run the Gregory Isaacs Foundation after he passed. She described Gregory as loving but complicated, a family man who also had a ruthless drive when it came to business. Keeping his memory alive through tribute concerts and charity work was a way of honoring both his talent and his heart. Gregory also had a wife named Linda, according to some news reports. When he died in 2010, she publicly said he was well loved by everyone, his fans and his family. The details around his family, with June, Linda, and his children, are a little hazy, partly because Gregory's personal life did not always make headlines in a straightforward way. On top of his relationships, Gregory was a businessman. Friends and collaborators said he could retreat into deep creative spaces at home, writing songs inspired by romance novels and faith. His personality seemed to fuel a lot of his songwriting. Those personal tensions were not just poetic. Gregory's addiction to crack cocaine caused real pain and disruption in his marriage and family life. His battles with substance abuse reportedly strained his relationships multiple times. He once referred to his drug habit as cocaine high school, a brutal but honest metaphor for how much he paid for his addiction. Still, despite the chaos, Gregory showed deep loyalty. He managed to stay connected with June and his children, even when things were turbulent. After he died, June helped turn his memory into something lasting. Through the Gregory Isaacs Foundation, she organized an annual tribute concert called Red Rose for Gregory, keeping his voice alive in the hearts of fans. Beyond his romantic life, Gregory's relationships with people in the music world also mattered. He had close working bonds with producers, other artists, and his friends in the reggae community. At times, his personal demons, legal trouble, addiction, health issues, made those relationships complicated. But many still talk about him with fondness and respect, remembering him as someone who gave his all to his music and his people. Gregory was a lover and a fighter, deeply capable of passion, but also drawn into destructive cycles. His relationships fueled his creativity, and his mistakes revealed an honesty in his music. That mix of romance and reality made his life a living, breathing mirror of the songs he sang. Battles with addiction and legal troubles. Gregory Isaacs' life was marked by incredible musical talent, but also by struggles that shadowed his career. By the late 1970s, his love for crack cocaine began to take a toll. What started as casual use eventually became a serious addiction, affecting his health, relationships, and professional life. Friends and collaborators often described him as charismatic and generous, but his substance use made him unpredictable and sometimes difficult to work with. His addiction had legal consequences as well. Isaacs faced multiple arrests, including charges for drug possession and other offenses, both in Jamaica and abroad. One of his most publicized arrests occurred in 1994 in London, when he spent time in prison for possession of crack cocaine. These legal battles not only strained his personal life, but also interrupted his career at critical points. Despite this, Gregory always seemed to find a way back to music, using it as both a refuge and an outlet. The combination of addiction and the lifestyle of a touring musician created a cycle that was hard to break. While he could perform with precision and passion, offstage he often struggled. Some producers noted that recording sessions sometimes had to be rescheduled because of his condition. Even so, Gregory maintained a remarkable work ethic and a drive to create, which earned him admiration from peers and fans alike. Substance abuse also influenced his music. Many of his songs carry a bittersweet quality, reflecting the tension between romantic desire and personal turmoil. Tracks like Rumors and All I Have Is Love reveal the vulnerability behind his cool persona. Fans often connected with the honesty of his lyrics, which mirrored both his life and the social realities around him. Despite these challenges, Gregory managed to release a string of successful albums during periods of intense personal struggle. He continued to collaborate with top producers, including Gussie Clarke and Prince Jammy, and maintained a strong international presence. His ability to balance addiction, legal issues, and an active music career is part of what made his story compelling. He was flawed, but immensely talented. His battles with addiction also highlighted the lack of adequate support systems for musicians in Jamaica and abroad. The pressures of fame, coupled with financial instability and access to drugs, created a risky environment. Gregory's life serves as a cautionary tale, demonstrating how fame and talent do not make one immune to personal demons. Towards the end of his life, Isaacs worked to manage his health and substance issues more effectively. Friends and family reported that he sought treatment when possible and tried to focus on legacy projects, such as mentorship for younger artists and the Gregory Isaacs Foundation. These efforts illustrate the resilience that characterized much of his life. Even amid hardship, he remained committed to music and to the people who mattered to him. Gregory Isaacs' story reminds us that the life of an artist can be complicated. Behind the romantic, smooth exterior was a man battling addiction, facing legal hurdles, and struggling to reconcile his personal desires with professional demands. It is this complexity that gives his music depth, making it resonate long after the final note. International success and collaborations. Gregory Isaacs was already a major figure in Jamaica, but his rise to international fame truly defined his legacy. By the late 1970s and early 1980s, he had become known as the Cool Ruler, a title that matched the smooth, effortless quality of his voice. His ability to combine romantic ballads with socially conscious songs made him appealing to audiences outside Jamaica, and that versatility allowed him to tour widely. One of the turning points in his global career was the release of the album Night Nurse in 1982. The title track became a worldwide hit, reaching audiences across Europe and the United States. The song's sultry rhythms and Isaacs' emotive delivery showcased why he was considered the king of lovers rock. This album opened doors for him to perform on international stages, giving him exposure that few Jamaican artists achieved at the time. Collaboration was a key part of his international success. Gregory worked with legendary producers like Gussie Clarke, Alvin G.G. Ranglin, and Lee Scratch Perry. These partnerships allowed him to experiment with different sounds, blending roots reggae, lovers rock, and the emerging dancehall style. Collaborating with multiple producers also helped him stay relevant in a rapidly changing music industry, ensuring his music could appeal to diverse audiences. Beyond producers, Gregory worked with a range of artists who respected his talent. He recorded duets with singers like Dennis Brown and Tommy McCook, blending their voices in ways that highlighted both harmony and contrast. These collaborations expanded his reach and reinforced his status as a versatile, adaptive artist. Whether performing romantic duets or socially conscious tracks, Gregory remained authentic to his signature style. Touring internationally brought both acclaim and new challenges. Performing in Europe, North America, and even Japan, he had to adapt to different audiences and venues. Fans were drawn not only to his music, but also to his stage presence. On stage, he projected confidence, charisma, and intimacy, making even large crowds feel personal. These tours solidified his reputation as a world-class performer. Isaacs also embraced recording sessions abroad. He spent time in London, New York, and Europe, working with studios and musicians outside Jamaica. This global approach helped him incorporate new influences into his music, keeping it fresh while retaining the essence of his Jamaican roots. Albums like Private Beach Party and Red Rose for Gregory reflect this balance, combining contemporary production with his distinctive voice. Even as he achieved international fame, Gregory remained closely connected to his home country. He continued to collaborate with Jamaican artists and producers, honoring the scene that shaped him. This combination of local loyalty and global ambition created a unique career path that many of his contemporaries could not match. In the end, Gregory Isaacs' international success was built on talent, collaboration, and adaptability. He was able to take his deeply personal music and share it with audiences around the world, creating a legacy that transcended geographic boundaries. By blending smooth lovers, rock, authentic reggae, and strategic partnerships, he became a global ambassador for the genre and left a lasting mark on music history. Health decline and later years. As the 1990s progressed, Gregory Isaacs' health began to show the strain of decades of hard living, substance abuse, and relentless touring. His crack cocaine addiction, which had been a constant in his life, coupled with the natural wear and tear of a busy music career, started to take a serious toll on his body. Fans noticed that his once smooth and supple voice sometimes carried a rough edge, though his talent and emotional delivery remained unmistakable. Isaacs suffered from diabetes, a condition that worsened over time due to lifestyle choices and insufficient medical attention. Diabetes can be especially harsh for someone with his history, affecting energy levels, circulation, and overall resilience. In interviews and reports, friends and family often expressed concern for his well-being, urging him to slow down and prioritize his health. Despite these challenges, Gregory remained committed to his craft. He continued recording albums and performing live whenever possible. International fans still flocked to his concerts, and younger reggae artists sought his guidance. His professionalism in the studio and dedication to his music never fully waned, even as his physical health declined. During this period, Isaacs began to focus more on mentoring younger talent. He understood the pressures of the music industry and wanted to help emerging artists navigate the pitfalls he had faced. Collaborations with younger musicians allowed him to stay relevant while imparting wisdom from decades of experience. This phase of his life highlighted a softer, more reflective side, as he tried to leave a positive mark beyond his own recordings. Unfortunately, his health continued to deteriorate. Reports from the mid-2000s describe frequent hospital visits and episodes of severe illness. Isaacs' reliance on medication to manage his diabetes and other conditions became more critical. Friends and family rallied around him, but the combination of chronic illness, past substance abuse, and years of a demanding lifestyle created a difficult road. During these later years, he still released music, including albums like Private Beach Party and compilations that celebrated his career. His enduring dedication to lovers rock and reggae music served as a testament to his resilience, even amid declining health. He never stopped performing, recording, or connecting with fans. By 2010, Gregory Isaacs' health issues reached a critical point. He passed away on October 25, 2010, at the age of 59 in London. The cause of death was respiratory failure, complicated by his long-term diabetes and other underlying conditions. News of his passing was met with global mourning as fans and fellow artists reflected on the immense impact of his music. His later years illustrate both the fragility and the perseverance of a legendary artist. Gregory Isaacs' story is one of immense talent, creativity, and enduring influence, even in the face of serious personal challenges. His health struggles remind us of the costs often hidden behind the glamour of fame, while his music continues to inspire and resonate decades after his passing. Legacy and influence. Gregory Isaacs' influence on reggae and lovers rock is undeniable. He was not just a singer, he was a style, a voice, and a presence that shaped the sound of multiple generations. His smooth delivery, emotional depth, and ability to convey vulnerability set a standard for lovers rock singers that continues to inspire artists today. One of his most significant contributions was the way he balanced romantic ballads with socially conscious reggae. Songs like Night Nurse and Rumors captured the emotional intricacies of love and heartbreak, while tracks such as All I Have Is Love and Soon Forward reflected broader societal themes. This combination gave his music both intimacy and relevance, allowing fans to connect with him personally and culturally. His signature voice and style influenced countless artists in Jamaica and abroad. Contemporary reggae singers often cite Isaacs as a role model, especially in the lovers rock genre. His phrasing, timing, and ability to maintain emotional authenticity while navigating complex rhythms are studied and emulated by musicians seeking to capture the same magic. Isaacs' impact was also felt in the business of music. By creating his own African museum label, he demonstrated that artists could assert control over their creative output. This entrepreneurial spirit inspired future generations to pursue independence in the music industry, highlighting the importance of ownership and self-direction. Tributes and honors continue to celebrate his legacy. The Gregory Isaacs Foundation works to preserve his memory, supporting charity initiatives and music education. Annual tribute concerts, such as Red Rose for Gregory, bring together fans and artists to celebrate his life and contributions. These events reinforce the cultural significance of his work and maintain his presence in the public consciousness. His influence extended internationally. Collaborations with UK, US, and European artists introduced lovers rock and reggae to wider audiences. Isaacs helped shape the perception of Jamaican music abroad, demonstrating that reggae could be romantic, socially aware, and musically sophisticated. His ability to blend genres and styles expanded the possibilities of what reggae could be. Beyond music, Gregory Isaacs' story serves as a cautionary tale about the challenges of fame. His battles with addiction, health issues, and legal troubles remind us that talent and charisma do not shield anyone from personal struggles. Yet, his resilience and dedication to his craft offer inspiration. He continued to create, perform, and influence despite these obstacles. Fans and musicians alike remember him, not only for his songs, but also for his aura and charisma. Stories of his interactions with fans, mentorship of younger artists, and devotion to his craft highlight a personality that was as compelling as his music. His combination of talent, ambition, and vulnerability created a blueprint for future artists navigating the complexities of both creativity and personal life. In the end, Gregory Isaacs' legacy is multifaceted. He left behind a rich catalog of music, a model for artist independence, and a blueprint for blending emotion and style in reggae. His influence endures in the music of today and will continue to shape artists and fans for generations. Final years and death. The final years of Gregory Isaacs' life were a mix of continued musical output, declining health, and reflection on a career that had spanned more than 3 decades. By the mid-2000s, he was performing less frequently, but remained a sought-after figure in the reggae community. Fans traveled from around the world to see him live, drawn by his signature voice and the emotional depth of his performances. Despite his enduring popularity, Isaacs' health had become a serious concern. Years of substance abuse and lifestyle pressures contributed to chronic conditions, including diabetes and respiratory problems. These issues limited his ability to tour and record as extensively as before. Friends, family, and collaborators often expressed concern, urging him to focus on his well-being while continuing to mentor younger artists. Even during these challenging times, Gregory continued to record music that resonated with fans. He participated in compilation albums, collaborative projects, and reissues of classic tracks. Albums like Private Beach Party and live recordings captured the essence of his style and reminded listeners why he remained a central figure in lovers rock and reggae music. His work during this period reinforced his reputation as an artist who could sustain relevance and influence even amid personal struggles. His final public appearances reflected both his charisma and fragility. On stage, he maintained the elegance and smoothness that had defined his career. Yet off-stage, he faced the consequences of years of demanding performance schedules and health neglect. Those close to him often described his determination to perform, despite physical limitations, as a testament to his dedication to music and his fans. By October 2010, Gregory Isaacs' health had severely deteriorated. On October 25, 2010, he passed away in London at the age of 59. The official cause of death was respiratory failure, complicated by diabetes and the lingering effects of long-term substance use. News of his death triggered an outpouring of grief worldwide. Fans, fellow musicians, and public figures remembered him not only as a reggae icon, but as a person whose life was as compelling as his music. Tributes poured in from all over the globe. Many reflected on his musical legacy, praising his contributions to lovers rock and reggae, while others highlighted his charisma, mentorship, and personal story. Tribute concerts, posthumous album releases, and documentaries further cemented his enduring presence in the music world. Even after his passing, Isaacs' influence on contemporary reggae and lovers rock remained significant. Gregory Isaacs' final years serve as a reminder of the complex intersection between artistry and personal struggle. He continued to create, inspire, and connect with audiences even while facing serious health challenges. His passing marked the end of an era in reggae music, but the breadth of his work ensures that his voice continues to resonate. In retrospect, his life was a blend of triumph and tragedy. Gregory Isaacs achieved international fame, left a lasting mark on music, and influenced countless artists. Yet he also faced battles with addiction, legal issues, and declining health. These final years underscore both his resilience and the fragility of human life, making his story a poignant reflection of talent, perseverance, and vulnerability. Gregory Isaacs left a legacy that will never fade. From the smooth grooves of lovers rock to the hard truths behind his personal struggles, his music continues to touch hearts across the globe. He reminded us that talent can shine even through imperfection, and that passion paired with vulnerability creates timeless art. As you revisit his albums or hear his voice for the first time, remember the man behind the music. The cool ruler, the mentor, the flawed genius who gave the world songs that speak to love, loss, and life itself.